Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 Pella Marching Dutch. Let's welcome them to the field. Thank you so much for being here this evening. My name is Damian Place, for those of you that don't know. I'm one of the band directors at Pella High School. We've got Mr. Schott, Mr. Gabe Schott here as well. Let's say hello to Mr. Schott. We have Mr. Jeff Robilliard here, new to Pella. Welcome, Mr. Robilliard. And we have Rachel Wurr over there, who is your MC this evening. So I'll turn this microphone over to you, Rachel. No? You don't want to? Oh, bummer. Rachel made a deal. She refused to speak into the microphone tonight. I think that's really sad. But that's okay. We gave her a free pass. We're so happy to see you. We're so happy to be here tonight. And I can tell you, it has been such an honor and a privilege to work with your students this week. The last 2 weeks, they've been exceptional. They really have. That's the word that I would use for them. They've been exceptional in every way. Their work ethic, their drive, their determination, their attention to detail, their willingness to continue to get better has been truthfully inspiring. And it's been so refreshing after such a long time away from seeing people in person. It's really been moving for me, and I think for all of our staff, to see the way that these young people have responded and come back so strong over the course of the last 2 weeks. So we have a show for you that is not, we didn't really step it back at all. We didn't go easier. We're doing what we do around here as the Marching Dutch. And so we were a little nervous, to be quite honest with you, because That's a lot of time away. And these guys came back this year and have handled it tremendously. So the format for this evening is very informal. We're gonna play for you our entire musical program first, standing still with music. You'll get to hear all 4 movements. It's really 5 movements, but we've kind of made it 4. So we're gonna go back and forth between 4 and 5. We call it 3B, we call it 4, and then we don't know. It's essentially 5 movements. It's 4 that have everybody and 1 percussion feature. So 5 movements this evening. And we're just gonna play them straight through with no talking in between. We're gonna try to limit the amount of talking that you hear tonight. I hope you're okay with that. We've emailed you plenty. When I say we, I mean I've emailed you plenty. And so if you have any questions about that, you can check the emails or check out our cool band website. All of the information should be on there that you need to know. If you've caught on, I'm trying to establish a little bit of a cycle where I send you at least, I'm trying to limit it to 1 big email a week on Fridays. That's going to be the goal, so that we can just keep up with what's coming next. So I have a list of things that I was going to say here. I want to make sure that I've got it covered before I move on. Like I said, we're keeping it informal. So I'm pulling out my phone to check my list. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So we're gonna play our show for you. The title of the show is Stained Glass, a Light in Times of Darkness. And it's interesting how this came about. We started out as we were gonna kind of play off of a show that was done a couple of years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago. And so we started to put it together, and then we came up with the theme throughout, and we thought, where do you mostly see the stained glass window, and how do you reference that? What does that look like? What does it sound like? And we came up with some hymn settings that would reflect what you tend to recognize as a commonplace, a cathedral type sound where you would traditionally see a stained glass window. And then the pandemic hit, and we added to the end of it a light in times of darkness. So the show starts with just a little bit of a dark theme to it, a dark undercurrent. The second movement is incredibly difficult and out there, and it's fast, and it's in your face, and it's aggressive, and the title is Agitato. And our third movement is, it's the stained glass window. It's supposed to represent the stained glass window at night, and the moonlight shining through that stained glass window. So when you see the color guard with their official flags, they're a blue hue with purples and whites and grays. And then our final movement is kind of the culmination of the light shining through that window in the morning, the hope breaking through, and the sunshine illuminating that stained glass window in all of its glory. And what happens in that final movement, you'll see at some point in time, is the very end, from the 40-yard line to the 40-yard line and to the front hash, we have a digitally printed replica of a stained glass window that is an actual stained glass window from a cathedral, and that flies out over the band as they finish that fourth movement. It's a pretty cool effect that will happen. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to make it happen, but it will, and it'll be later on in the season. One thing that I want to point out to you is that, remember, this is after 2 weeks, right? So every year we come together and we listen, and every year we say, well, let me back up. At the end of every year, we say, man, that's a great group of seniors. How are you ever going to replace them? How many of you have ever caught yourself saying that with a group? I say it every year. Do you guys ever say that? And I'll tell you, there's this little magical thing that happens. And it's, in my first 10 years, my first 5 years especially, I used to get really worked up about it. And I would panic. And then what has happened is that kids have proved to me over the course of the last now 16 years that there's magic that happens, and they step into these roles and they grow. And they assume the leadership roles, and they assume these great positions in the ensemble, and the tradition continues. And I can tell you, we've had that happen this year, and it's been so much fun to see. But what I was going to say, where I was going with that, is that we remember last year's end of the year performance, right? And it was really awesome. We were at Ankeny, and we played the tango, and we brought the house down, and it was so special. And remember, that was after 3 months of working. And so just remember today, you're in for a fun ride. You get to see us from square one, and then you get to see what we add and how your kids grow and how they achieve at an incredibly high level by the end of October. And we have the utmost confidence that they're going to achieve at that level or higher by the time we get there. Because of where we are right now, we're just super thrilled with the progress we've made. So, drum majors, you guys ready to go? What do you think? Should we play through it? Yeah, Annika, you ready? Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get my metronome set up. You will hear a metronome throughout. Someday that'll go away, so we apologize to you in advance. It's a loud clicking noise. Check, check. There we go. Excellent. Good job, band. Go ahead and bring your stands out, spread them out across the front sideline here. And you can bring them up onto the track. Just spread them out really far. Put all your stuff spread out on the front sideline as well. Make sure that you clear the field completely. That would be bad if we didn't do that. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to bring up for you this evening is just draw your attention to a couple of things and make a couple of plugs. First is thank you. We've had uniform fitting this week, and if you were a part of uniform fitting, if you volunteered to come help out, would you please, don't be shy, please stand up so that we can say thank you to you, because we couldn't do what we do without your volunteering and your helping. Oh my goodness. So we have the best uniform fitting parents in the state of Iowa. We look the best everywhere we go because of the work that our parents do, and thank you, Charlie Ekoff, thank you so much for organizing that and all the work that you put in, starting all the way back in April. Thank you very, very much. Can we recognize Charlie for all the work she's done to get that to happen? Such a blessing to have your help. My goodness, thank you. The second thing that I wanted to recognize or bring up here, we have another couple of parents, Nancy Thompson and Jamie Adrian, have headed up organizing our Spirit Wear fundraiser. And I don't remember, is this the 4th or the 5th year that you guys have done this? I don't know if you're here. 4th or 5th or 6th year. They've been doing it for a long time. And I won't make you talk. Don't worry. I won't bring the microphone to you, Jamie. I know you're hiding from me up there because you don't want the microphone. I know that. I won't bring it to you. It's 4 or 5 years they've been heading up this committee of designing the Spirit Wear for the Marching Dutch. And it's a big undertaking, going back and forth with designers and going back and forth with manufacturers and making sure that the website is up and running and all of those things that go into it before you even see the online store, and especially then the next thing is distributing it. So again, thank you for all of the work that the two of you do. Can we recognize them for their hard work? It's just, again, we're so appreciative of that. So I sent out that link in an email to you yesterday. The Spiritware is on sale starting yesterday through the 24th. Is that right, Jamie? 8 a.m. on the 24th. Check it out. There's some really great stuff on there, and we're excited about the things that are available for purchase. Support the band program, support your students through that. Those things will be delivered at our rehearsal on September 19th, or if you want them to go to your child's school, so Jefferson, Madison, or Lincoln, or the middle school, you can designate that they go there, and they will be delivered to those buildings and handed out to the students at those individual buildings. The next thing is you've received a couple of requests for volunteer signing up, and I can tell you we've had such a great response from you this year. Typically we're really hurting at this point in time, and we have to talk about how concerned we are about that. We're not concerned because we've seen such a tremendous response, so we're so appreciative of that. There are still some vacancies, some spots open to volunteer. So if you would check that out and sign up to volunteer at some of those things, we sure would appreciate it. All right, so the last thing we're going to do this evening is we're going to march and play through, so you're going to see the opener with movement. Now, this particular movement has 15 pages of drill. So there are 15 pictures that the students have learned and movement in between each of them. We actually have learned up through page 24 of the show, but that's only about a third of the way through the second tune, so we didn't feel like we should go ahead, that we should do that tonight. We weren't ready to perform that for you. So you'll see the whole first movement marching and playing, and we're excited about where they are with this. So here we are, movement one. Yeah, it's okay to applaud. That's good. Yeah, you can applaud them anytime. Excellent. You can go to standby band. Good job. Cool. I'm going to talk to them for just a minute. We're going to talk about how to pack our things up and clean up here. But that is our show for this evening. Thank you so much for coming out. Our schedule for next week is 9:30 to 1 on Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll see you at the first football game. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great rest of your weekend.